Howdy, everybody. Another day, another technical issue stabbing us in the back, though we try our best. But thanks to Asher, we got all our problems resolved, and we can actually get the show started. Speaking of which, getting the show started, shout outs to Kios for actually planning this pretty much last minute. You want to say a little bit to let everybody know what you sound like, since our audio indicators, they kind of do their own thing?
No. Nah, I'm just kidding. Hi, friends. Kios here. I brought along some of my friends, actually. We were just looking for more stuff to put on Limit Break. Stuff that maybe doesn't get shown off as much as it should, or stuff that like the community asked for, but we just haven't, had the I guess bandwidth or personnel to make it happen. So we stepped up a bit, and I brought along some friends. If y'all want to introduce yourselves alphabetically by height, that would be terrific.
Oh wait, are we visible already? Because I had a whole spiel.
Yep,
You are visible. BigNoNo.
Okay, yar mateys and avasti! I be BigNoNo, captain of the BigNoNo pirating crew, and I'm here to take you on a trip to the islands of Hawaii. But this is a trip that no man, even a man such as I, can undertake alone. So I've brought with me the finest scallywags possible running this video game. Crew, introduce yourselves.
Yarg, I'm second mate Froob. I like the cannons. Is that right? Can I say that?
Oh, he does. And with me as well, first mate Tojimaru. Introduce yourself, more than I already have, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm Tojimaru. I run this game as well. Thanks for having me here.
We introduce
Yes,
ourselves
indeed.
by the amount of fun we're willing to give.
Then if all is, I'm not going to commit to doing the voice the whole run, by the way. Then if all is prepared, then we can begin.
Sure. I'll count you in, and you guys can fire off in 5.
So, hold on. Time will begin on confirming the autosave prompt coming up. So let me get us in position, and now you may count us down.
Sounds good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Good luck, you
Avast.
scallywag.
As we say. All right, so the run begins, unfortunately, as always with Yakuza games, with a tutorial. I'm going to let my commentators describe this because I'm going to need to focus on a lot of inputs here.
Yeah, so, you're about to see the most fearsome pirate with the most fearsome name you've ever heard of in your entire life. It's going to pop up on the screen. I'll spare you a little bit of suspense, and you'll see it right here. It's Keith. Great name. Keith's a pain in the backside. So what BigNoNo has to do is input a set of combos whilst also skipping the tutorials with left D-pad. That way you can start hitting Keith and dropping their HP immediately. You cannot attack any enemy and do damage whilst you actually have tutorials on screen. And what BigNoNo did there is a new function to this series. It's called jumping. You may have heard of it before. The jumping is really nice because it actually also has a hitbox on the jump, which you'll also see later. But you saw BigNoNo there jumping forward to get towards Keith, which is a really good action because that kept Keith doing a little bit of damage to Keith and also able to keep comboing Keith. BigNoNo's also doing some quick step cancels during the end of their combos you saw there. The unfortunate thing about Pirate Yakuza is a lot of enemies do love to guard as well, like you saw once there, but decent first 2 fights, which is nice. You're basically seeing Majima's initial fighting style called Mad Dog. There's gonna be a good couple of fights with this, especially early on, because we only have access to the one fighting style for now, but BigNoNo will get a second fighting style very soon. And yeah, we're on a place called Rich Island.
Yeah, it's the enemies blocking this game, the ones that have swords, they can just block for so long, and you can't really do anything about it yet in a time-efficient way. We will get really good methods of dealing with blocking enemies later, but the early game is a bit rough in that regard. Also, you just saw me go into a fight. We will sometimes actually go into random fights on purpose because you move faster during fights. But this is only possible when we have triggers that cancel you out of a fight. If we don't have them, then obviously that's a time loss. Now, I know we really haven't gotten to fight this guy in a long time, so we are just going to have another fight with Keith. Because I know we've all missed him.
You'll be seeing him a
Get
lot
used to
today.
seeing his name. You know?
They hold on. During the swing here, I'm going to get our first damage upgrade. We are going to get quite a few of these over the course of the run. Oh, that is a bit unfortunate. The movement there was to try and line them up so they both get hit by that overhead barrel attack, but that didn't work. By the way, that setup where you kind of squeeze yourself between the enemies to try and hit all of them with a single swing, that is something that our friend Tojimaru here came up with. At least I learned it from his run.
I think I saw PS Caller do it way back when the game first came out.
Shout out to PS
But yeah,
ran this game
shout out.
first for a while.
Yep.
By the way, for that fight, I just want to say, sometimes in the very beginning, if you instantly hit with the barrel, sometimes it doesn't do full damage. I don't know if that's ever happened to you before, but I've seen where it doesn't do the full damage on some of those enemies, even with the upgrade, attack upgrade.
Huh, interesting. That might explain some things that have happened to me, actually. There's a lot of
Very nice
weirdness
fight spawn
with
lock
the
as well.
Dragon Engine. Yeah, that fight spawn you don't want to get into because you can't talk to Noah if you get into a fight. So it's really, really lucky when they just let you pass through. If they don't, you need to save and load, and that loses a bunch of time. During actual PB attempts, that would usually trigger. That would usually trigger reset. Also, the inputs here for the cooking minigame are mostly predetermined. It's just the last one you need to watch out for. Because that one can be like one of 4 possibilities or something. But yeah, here once again we're going into a fight. It's especially good to go into fights when you go up and down stairs because regular movement, like out of combat movement, up and down stairs is generally pretty slow. So the ability to jump and speed it up that way is very important. Now for my favorite round of this chapter, my favorite fight of this chapter, where the main question is, will this barrel spontaneously break? Well, it didn't, but we did
that's a
get
shame.
really bad luck with these guys. Yeah, and also the one guy blocking. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's really RNG with that. Sometimes you get it in 2 barrel hits, sometimes it takes the entire barrel.
Yeah.
Something you'll see a lot of, like in this first chapter as well, is like BigNoNo doing that very quick jump strong attack because that can break an enemy's guard as well as long enough to be able to just keep attacking them. Because enemies guard for a very long time in this game.
Yeah. Generally, early on, your best methods of dealing with enemies guarding are either doing jump attacks, or you can also grab them, but grabbing is so slow, it's basically never worth doing in a speedrun. Also, we get a good look at our baby boy Goro. I love him very much. I hope and think everyone loves Goro.
That's a nice cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also got a nice chicken. This is actually you don't interact with this during the speedrun, obviously, but you have this whole mechanic in the game where you can adopt a bunch of animals and bring them into this pen and take care of them. There's a cow, there's like a bunch of them. It's very cute. Also, I don't think we've seen enough of Keith just yet. So here's another fight with him. So I'm going to do 2 heavy attacks on Keith and immediately heat move him. What this does is put him into 1 HP. You can't defeat him before this deadly attack tutorial takes place. But this sets him up so that when I do the counter here, he is immediately taken out.
Yeah, this is a remnant from Judgment and Lost Judgment systems, and their systems will also be coming into play with a lot of boss fights later on in regards to deadly attacks and invulnerability, which we have ways to get around.
Yeah. Also, Majima, this is established in Yakuza 5, I believe, that Majima can just summon shadow clones of himself. Don't question it. Majima is magic.
I'll allow
Even
it.
though the one guy got away, that was still not a too terrible fight. You can tell how bad the fight, or how good the fight was, but by how close your madness gauge, the circular gauge in the upper left corner, how close that is to 1/2, and that was like pretty close. It can be closer than that, but it wasn't too bad. Now for Masaru, the main thing here is to try and break through his hyper armor, so I'm going to try and get combos on him to stagger him. Okay, that actually was a perfect first round. He didn't, he got staggered completely, so I just did 2 perfect combos. Very, very nice.
Masaru has some, like, very simple combos for this very first fight, but because of what BigNoNo was saying about hyper armor, if he hits you into a wall, you are going to fall down and lose a metric ton of time.
Yeah, getting knocked down early in the game is a major time loss. We're going to have ways of mitigating it later, but it's going to be a little while. Okay, not too bad. That was a decent Masaru.
The rule of thumb for this as well is to respect deadly attacks.
Now, Jack, this guy is this is the worst enemy, I would say, in the game. Like, one of the worst boss fights, and you'd think, well, you probably don't have to fight him that often, but you'd be wrong. But yeah, right here, I'm going to use a heat move, just because that does a decent amount of damage, even though that heat move specifically is pretty slow. But yeah, Jack has a lot of hyper armor. You can see that I can barely stagger him. However, by doing what I did at the start, just doing 4 light attacks, it kind of forces his AI to usually follow 2 patterns that are pretty easy to deal with. And now we just do the 4 light attacks again, just to set us up for the timing for... Ooh! Oh, he is misbehaving. He's being very, very naughty.
It's not very nice.
Yeah, okay. That was a bit rough, but we got him eventually. Sorry,
Usually, what I like to do is... Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, when Jack misbehaves like that, normally what I like to do is I like to do the jump and the triangle attack on him. You know, it usually works out. But yeah, that's like my backup.
Yeah, that's actually a good call. I do remember you seeing that, seeing you do that in your runs. I should try that. I used to, so jump attacks were not really a thing in this game until I got more into professional, and I realized they were really good. I don't even remember why I started using them. But yeah, for professional, they're really important, and eventually we realized that they're good for this category as well. So I still have not integrated them to everything. Alright, you did see us just buy a bunch of beer. Beer makes you do a bit of extra damage, but mostly it really increases your heat buildup. And heat moves are very, very good in this game. Nice dropping the barrel, Majima. Thanks for that. Oh my god. Alright. Some Dragon Engine... How did that guy survive? Okay, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly...
Yeah,
it's really weird. Yeah, it's so strange when that happens.
The game actively working to vindicate you. But yeah, that's a Dragon Engine. The engine that Yakuza games have been running on the past 10 years. We love it. It's great. It is a perfect game engine in every single way. But yeah, heat moves are very, very good in this game, as we're about to see right now. However, I also am going to want to put some damage on Jason before we actually do the heat move, because that way we go right into the QTE sequence after the heat move. So let's see if he plays along. Okay, this is looking good. Nice. That was a perfect first phase. Alright, so now as he rolls away, we're going to get into the QTE. So some QTEs, a lot of QTEs in this game were actually going to fail because they're faster to fail. And QTEs in this game generally don't give you damage, at least most of them don't. They do give you heat, however. As you can see, my heat is now up by 1/2. Having said that, in this particular instance, succeeding the QTE is just faster, so we do it anyway. But you'll see us failing. You'll see a lot of QTEs failing in this run, just because they're way, way faster. In some cases, it's like 4 or 7 seconds faster to fail the QTE. So if you don't need the heat, it's usually better to do. And that's chapter 1.
Yay!
Yeah. So surely we're out of chapter 1. It is time to introduce some new villains. Surely we're not just going to fight the same enemies again. If you look in the top right, you can already see I'm lying. But yeah, so Froob did mention that we can skip the combat tutorials in this game. The only tutorials you can't really skip are the ones that introduce new mechanics. So for example, boat combat is a tutorial you cannot skip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to ram into this shit. Oh, I was so close. That's a shame.
That was
It
so,
was
so
literally
close.
1 HP. Yeah. But okay, it's Jack again. It's been so long since we last saw him. We are going to pull out the Shadow Clones again. And the thing that is going to be kind of a recurring theme with a lot of the Jack fights coming up, and yes, that's plural Jack fights, is he phase transitions after you put him into half his HP bar, but it can take him a while, so generally what you want to do is get him into half HP. Oh, that was pretty good. But yeah, you want to get him into half HP, and then go away and deal with his goons, and then as he transitions, you can go back and finish him off. And this is also going to be the case for this fight. This fight also introduces our second fighting style, and I'm going to let my commentators talk about that while I focus on beating this man down.
Yeah, so this one is the Sea Dog style. You use swords in this. Later on, you get a gun too, but not yet. I don't want to spoil that. There's a lot of. Now I don't know if you do this still.
Oh, come
BigNoNo,
on, that
but-
was so unlucky.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry,
yeah.
you were
When you
saying?
don't have the. I was gonna say later on, there's that upgrade you get where it. There's an upgrade that attacks 3 enemies. I don't know if you use that heat action anymore. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Do you
Specifically,
mean
it
the
gets
one I just did with like the jump and like when you like jumped the one guy and stabbed the 2 others?
Yes, that one. I don't know if you still use that in this run in your route.
Yeah. I use it in this fight and a bunch of other places. It's like it's not the best heat move because it's kind of slow, but sometimes it does set you up really well for certain fights.
It drags some of the
Yeah,
larger
definitely.
HP enemies forward, which is really nice.
A lot of the multi-enemy heat moves in this game have a really nice feature where they will basically just, like Froob says, they will pull in the highest HP enemies, like the mini-bosses, the bosses, etc. So they're a lot more useful than they might seem at first glance. Especially one called Rain of Blood that we will see a lot of in the late game. That I kind of dismissed at first, but is actually very good.
So one thing that BigNoNo is taking a very small note of here is these components that are getting picked up. There's a couple that are completely useless, like the nets and stuff, but the normal components, quality components, and superb components, BigNoNo wants a specific amount of those by the time we hit, spoiler alert, Hawaii is in the name of the game. And if we don't get enough, then BigNoNo will have to try backup strats, but ideally, BigNoNo will get enough to be able to supplement with the other materials. It's usually not a problem, but there's the very rare circumstances that dictate, oh, you are just missing 1 or 2 of X or Y.
Yeah, it's rare, but it can definitely if your luck is bad enough, it can actually kill your run. Like if you're missing out on a lot of components.
Yeah, for obviously marathon stuff, we do have a backup strat, but the backup strat takes like a minute.
Yeah. It's actually kind of worse in professional because in professional you craft an additional turret.
Oh.
But professional is its own concern. But yeah,
So-
you saw me just use the... Sorry, go ahead, Froob.
I was gonna say you're explaining it.
Oh yeah. So you were going to say about the boomerang.
Yes. Yeah, so
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
lot of what you're seeing with BigNoNo's combat right now, the cutlasses thrown are something unique with Sea Dog, where basically BigNoNo can throw his weapons out, and at that point you start doing like hand-to-hand attacks. You cannot change your fighting style whilst they're also out, but they're very good at like damaging enemies like all around you in like a small area, like towards where you throw the cutlasses, and also just like keeping them there, which is really good. But you'll see, especially with Sea Dog, as BigNoNo goes through the game, it's gonna... Here's a bear, by the way. It's gonna keep, basically... It's gonna keep evolving as a fighting style as the game keeps giving you more stuff for Sea Dog.
He was very bashful. But yeah, the bear basically can knock you down really easily, so I'm trying to time my attacks to coincide with his... So my hyper armor coincides with his damage, otherwise he knocks you down and usually breaks your barrel, and it's a bad scene. No one likes that. But yeah, the boomerang cutlass is something that actually used to be used a lot more. We kind of overrated them. They're not that good in any percent because they just don't do enough damage, so they're mostly only useful when you have like big groups of very low HP enemies. It's actually Toji that routed out a lot of boomerang cutlass usage, I believe. Because I still use them in like 2 or 3 more fights, and then I saw his run and I was like, okay, not doing that is actually faster.
Yeah, I just really didn't like to use it. That's really all it came down to.
Yeah, honestly, it's like very unwieldy in their unupgraded state. In New Game Plus, because you have both damage upgrades and also just the upgrades to their throw pattern, they're actually a lot more useful. But yeah, in 90% not so much.
I gotta try a New Game Plus run. It's I've been looking at the runs. They seem really interesting.
Yeah, it's like... Okay, so some propaganda for this game. I think this is a really good run, and like don't you know, you might see my stream and I'm saying stuff like this game sucks, this game is bad, but no, the game is very, very good and it's a really good run. And the nice thing is that there's a lot of really nice variety for categories because any percent and New Game Plus and Professional all have very distinct flavors in a way that I've not really seen since Kiwami. Like that's the only other Yakuza game that I feel has that much variety. And our friend Toji here has also recently routed and run all sub-stories and all treasures for this game. So those are much longer runs, but they were really interesting to watch.
Yeah, all treasure specifically is a very long run, but it's fun. I think it's really fun.
I was going to say, I should hopefully have somewhat decent notes for this run available for public consumption within a week or so.
You have to slag it off my notes, how dare you?
Yeah, I know. Thanks. Froob got me started, but I wanted to make them better.
Honestly, I feel really bad because I went into Kyo's stream at one point, and he's like, no, when do we fight Lopez? And I'm like, that's been routed out for like 3 months now.
I told Kyos a lot of my notes were still older than that. Like, I don't even have, like,
Yeah, no,
I know exactly the bit, but it's like, I don't have the Lopez fight notes in there anymore. It's just, yeah, go see Lopez. It's like, no.
It's just a vicious circle of, you know, not a lot of people run the game, so you don't keep the notes up to date, so people don't pick up the game, just... yeah, we do
my
need
notes
to
are
get
just
better
complete
about
garbage.
that. I mean, I don't know about either of you. I don't even look at my notes anymore. Like, there comes a point where I just kind of know what I need to do.
Exactly.
And
It
that's
takes you
true
long
for
enough
pretty
to
much
memorize everything.
yeah.
Sometimes. When I get to
I
the
have some
chapter
fun
2
notes.
Hawaii stuff, I do actually need a little bit of a reminder.
Mm.
Mostly just because
Yeah, there's a
every
lot of
time I
details
run
in that.
this, I keep getting like very confused with Infinite Wealth's route, and it's like, ah,
Oh god, yes.
no.
Yeah, I guess I'm lucky that I'm only running one game that takes place in Hawaii.
the,
I guess
the fact that it is the
anyone who
exact,
runs. No, sorry, go
so
ahead.
the exact same map, and yet the fortune route is completely different, and some of them are the same, and some of them are in slightly off locations, and it's like, ah, please.
Yeah, the only thing like that I can think of is like taxi routes in, say, Zero versus Kiwami or any two Yakuza games that have similar maps.
Yeah. That's always the thing that I've said for anyone who wants to learn multiple Yakuzas, is it's the taxi routes. Like, sub-story locations for the most part are on the mini-maps for most games, or if you're specifically like Gaiden, they're in like a specific spot, you have to accept them. But remembering the taxis is a pain. So,
Yeah.
BigNoNo's fighting the Pelicano enemies here, which are really cool, because obviously the only time you've
God.
seen them is Infinite Wealth. But as you've seen, this fight is a giant pain in the backside, because they all like to walk away. Every single one of them. And you have a crew member called Masaru who loves to not do anything.
Yep. I do
Well,
think it's
anyone's
really
just-
interesting because. Sorry, I was just gonna say it's really interesting because these enemies, like Froob mentioned, are from Yakuza 8 from Infinite Wealth, which is a turn-based RPG. So they move in this game exactly like they move in that game, and you can kind of sneer at that and say, "Oh, the devs are just being lazy." But no, I think that's intentional. I think that kind of movement makes fighting them in a real-time combat game very, very interesting. And also kind of a pain, admittedly, in the run sometimes, but it's also very interesting. But yeah, what you saw there is I did a little shop. We got some turners, which are items that charge up our heat. We will need those in a couple of fights in Hawaii. I also picked up more beer. We drink a lot of beer in this run. And also I got 3 CDs, and hold on to that because we will explain the significance of that in a little bit. It actually serves a dual purpose in this run. Okay, because now I don't have anyone fighting with me, I'm going to summon some friends. Going to summon the Shadow Clones. The Shadow Clones are generally very good, but the Madness gauge fills up pretty slowly. We do actually get an upgrade later in the run that makes your Madness go up much faster, but it's not something we can rely on this early. Huh. Interesting. I had some Madness left, but then it just disappeared. I never saw that happen before. Usually when you have Madness left, it just sticks. Huh. That's interesting. Anyway, that was a pretty good fight. Pretty much the major variables are like how grouped up the Pelicana are and how useful your Shadow Clones want to be. Which, I will say, unlike most AI partners, the Shadow Clones are actually pretty useful usually, but they can slack off sometimes. Alright, and here we're really going to see the power of Sea Dog. Like, we are just absolutely cutting through these enemies. Because not only does Sea Dog does really good DPS, it's got such a huge range to it. Like, look at how many enemies I'm hitting with just the one combo. Ooh, that was a good fight.
Clean.
Yeah. All right. Now we're going to go to a location that is, I assure you, I'm not joking, called Madlantis. Does anyone want to explain what Madlantis is, pretty much?
You know that Futurama quote? I think it's Futurama. About, blackjack and other stuff? That's Madlantis for pirates. Yeah.
Okay, that is a good description, actually. Man, I've not watched Futurama in a while. Love that show.
We do get a new
man, you skipped
version
baseball.
of baseball here with fake Luffy from One Piece, who has the blue pants as well. It's actually really cool casually. But
Speaking of
yeah,
things
it's
we've not seen in a while, Keith!
cool. Oh,
It's
not
been
again.
so long
No.
since we've had a Keith fight. I know you've all been itching for one. But yeah, I'm going to use the boomerang to get rid of the gun guys, because they are very low HP. Use my heat on Keith. And now we need to build our heat back up, so I'm going to drink some... Hello? I'm going to drink some beer and take care of the goons. Very, very important to get rid of the gun guys here, because they are a major pain. Ooh, okay. I don't like what he's doing. Oh, I don't like getting hit by that.
It's something to mention as well. Even though this is being run on quotation marks easy, Keith can kill you in about 3 hits in this fight. Genuinely.
I struggled with this. Like when I was making notes and learning, this was the first fight where I was like, oh, I really actually like just can't ad-lib this. He's very strong for this early in the game.
Most of the time when we die in a Yakuza or like a Dragon Run, it's because we have like at some point a bunch of equipment that lowers our defense. That will happen in this run, but not yet. This is like even on like quotation marks easy. This is base. Hey, it's base HP. No, it's not base HP because you got the HP upgrades, didn't you? It's more than base HP. Yeah.
Like back when there was a time. There was a time where I tried to go this entire run without any HP upgrades, which you can do, but it forces you to be a lot more careful, not just with Keith, but also with the final boss. And it's just not worth it. So we ended up, I ended up routing in a few health upgrades, and also knockdown evasion, which is the thing that makes you get up faster when you get knocked down. Without those things, the run is just very, very dangerous. So it's really worth picking those up, even though this is easy. But yeah, like if you don't have any HP upgrades, Keith can essentially like 2 or 3 shot you. Alright, for this fight, ooh, okay. Masaru actually did something. I don't know. It's very weird to me. Like, Masaru is actually doing stuff recently. That was a great fight. That went exceedingly well.
That was very
damn.
fast. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because both Masaru was helpful, and also they grouped up way more than they usually do. Also, before I forget, this is where you get another damage upgrade. So about the CDs, you may have seen that after Keith, I bought a couple more CDs. So CDs give you those pirate points that we need for upgrades. So that allows me to get the 4th attack upgrade early. And that's one purpose of that, but we're also going to have another one, and that one will be relevant when we get to Hawaii.
But
for now,
That'd be great.
Sorry? Okay, nice. We would like someone to do something. Instead, oh, Jason is going for it. Cool. You can usually rely on Jason.
You, Masaru, but once again.
Yeah. Masaru, I'm used to this stuff for Masaru. Oh, that's bad. I messed up.
Yeah, the guy in the white shirt will always run here, like, as BigNoNo was kind of saying, like, there's certain AI actions you can kind of expect, that guy running, Jason usually going after an enemy. Ideally, obviously, you want, like, a couple of hits of the paddle left here, because BigNoNo will use those hits and then use the heat action, and then, obviously, whatever is left will just take out Ali. And then, obviously, as you can see, the enemies just love to run. That's a big theme about this, unfortunately. So BigNoNo is really hoping that one of these two will do something to this last guy, but nope. They ran over there and then decided, I've had enough today.
They were very naughty.
I think pirates unionize. I think they had hours. I think Masaru's already used up his hours for the day and is just like, yeah, I'm just gonna cook.
An injury to one is an injury to all. Yarr.
So this is I believe, a Japanese content creator called Captain Beef. as you can see, in this fight, Jason is at this fight. He's over in that corner over there with Noah. So the most reliable teammate you can get is yourself and yourself. That's BigNoNo's first mate, by the way.
Yeah. There is a lot of... Obviously, you don't see them in the speedrun, but there's a lot of... They had a lot of fun localizing this guy. Shout out to localization Jason that we sometimes see in Yakuza speedrunner chats. But okay, maybe this is a good time to also explain a bit of how the boat works in terms of speed. So if you look in the bottom right, once we get back into this scene, you can see we actually have a speedometer. And what I try to do is, once I see the speed start slowing down, I cancel the current boost and I put in another one. The only exception to this is sometimes we'll have a very long traversal where I can't actually, like, we don't have enough boost anyway, so I will just let it dry out. But yeah, parceling out your boosts like that is very, very important to being optimal, because it really does make a difference speed-wise. Also, another thing I don't think we touched on, this game's random fights are really, really horrible. Like, they're some of the worst in the run, although Froob can attest to Yakuza 5's being somewhat a problem. I believe you had a run die earlier today.
I didn't even get to sick
Yakuza 5 never change. Yeah. But yeah, so the one reliable way you have of getting rid of fight spawns is anytime you load into an area, there's a radius around you where fight spawns can't appear. So if you have a fight spawn, you can just save and load, and there will be no random fight next to you. And for some reason, even though the positions of these boat fights are they're not random, they're fixed, the game kind of treats them the same as random encounters, where you can just save and load and they just disappear. So if you do need to be in the right range for that to happen, but if you are, you can just consistently avoid those fights. And that's faster, definitely faster on PC because we have a load remover. I'm pretty sure it's also faster on PS5. I don't know about PS4. PS4 is its own beast. Actually, Toji still holds the PS4 any % record, I believe.
Oh yeah, if you're looking for a good laugh. Yeah, no, if you're looking for a good laugh, you will watch that PS4 run. It's me surfing around for about 5 minutes looking for buddies in the game for the run.
Oh god, yeah, we'll get to that point soon. Oh, I almost forgot to pick that up. That's New Game Plus brain, because in New Game Plus you don't care about the components, you just go straight for the arcs. I forgot to skip that. Well, that's not good. I just explained this. This mechanic.
This one will catch everyone out. I can guarantee you it caught Kyo's out, because this one looks further away than it is.
Yeah, it 100% has.
I mean, it caught you out there, by the way. So, the one
now they're gonna get demoralized.
Yeah, you can see that there is at least a line of boost boxes, but as you can see, all the boost rings disappear. So, at the very least, BigNoNo is able to get through this a little bit okay compared to some of the other ones that would have been no boosts whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, that is unfortunate. Yeah, they're all gonna complain now. That's a shame. Okay, so this is a very weird fight to me because you have, like, very unique character models here, and you'd think maybe these guys would be recurring characters or even bosses, but no, this is just two completely regular goons that just look kind of special. Anyway, Sea-Dog combos on both of them. Finish the job pretty quickly. And there you go. That's the menacing men defeated. Right, basically what that encounter is supposed to do is alert you to the fact that you can get into fight spawn in a Y, and boy, can you get into fight spawns in a Y. I am one superb component short. That should still be okay, because I can just transmute, but I'll try to get I'll try to see if we can get one on the way. But I have way more quality components than I need, so we are fine. Like, we won't have to do any crazy backup strats. You'll see, again, I'm moving in kind of a weird way here. The reason for that is I want this fight spawn to follow me for as long as possible. And that's actually a good long while. That's very good.
Yeah, that's solid.
But as you can see, as you can see, the speed difference is like very... Of course, I'm not getting into superb components. Why would I? As you can see, the speed difference between regular movement and in-combat movement is like... It's not huge, but it is noticeable. Okay, so I have a question for everyone involved. Who likes bunnies?
Yeah.
If you like bunnies, you're in luck. Because not only do you get to see a bunny one time in this run, I should have said that later. I'm going to like dot for about 10 seconds now. You get to see a bunny a second time. Yeah. But that's it. No more bunnies. Alright, in this fight, I'm going to grab the bike. If you've played the Yakuza game, you know bicycles are always very, very good. And hopefully if this guy doesn't block, one bike will finish him off. Nice, and then just one punch on this guy. That is about as good as that fight.
That's my girl, Bike Chan. I've literally used bikes casually. They're the best.
Yep, I think we all have. By the way, I lied. There's a third bunny sighting. Okay, I'm about to play some shogi, and would either of my commentators like to explain why I'm wasting time on this?
Sure. So this is a bit of tech that was found by one of our community members, I think TGP, back when Infinite Wealth came out. And you'll see that BigNoNo solved the puzzle and then quit out very specifically via the menu. The reason why BigNoNo is quitting out, if you look at Play Puzzle Shogi here, where's Puzzle Shogi 2? It's not there because the game still believes that BigNoNo is on Puzzle Shogi 1. By quitting out, the game still thinks that BigNoNo is still on Puzzle Shogi 1 and gives him the bonus for the first time clear again and again. This is going to make it so BigNoNo only has to do Puzzle Shogi 1 4 times to get to 3,000 points. In stuff like Infinite Wealth, we do the entirety of Puzzle Shogi because we need to make 50,000 points, and it's a lot quicker with the final round. But for this run specifically, the first round is enough to just do it 4 times. And this works in every single Dragon Engine version of Shogi that has Puzzle Shogi.
And it should be noted.
I just want to mention that the. Oh yeah,
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah. No.
I was going to say the controls in Shogi are so responsive that it's just a fun thing to do too. It just feels good to get through that menu.
Yeah, it is like it's so satisfying to nail it. There's like
I use mouse because I'm super used to it from Infinite Wealth.
Oh really? Interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, here's Clark. Clark has a lot of HP, so we need to soften him up a bit here. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. That gets him into his phase transition. Don't do that before he glows, because then you waste the heat move. We should probably explain about HP gates at this point.
Yeah, so briefly mentioned earlier...
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
You go on.
No, you do it.
Okay, I briefly mentioned earlier they've been brought over from Judgment and Lost Judgment, where every enemy that has a mid-fight kind of enraged state like that, they'll be invulnerable for that entirety of that state, but if you do a heat action to them, you can basically just do damage to them. It stops that state and just pushes the fight along. There are some fights, we don't do it that much in Lost Judgment, because a lot of the fights in Lost Judgment, there's very rarely a boss fight that's a one-on-one fight. So a lot of the time you'll just work on the boss first, then when the boss is in its state, you'll go fight some of the ads instead. You'll see that happen a couple of times later on, actually, with a boss or two that's going to come back. But outside of that, it's just good positioning of being in a fight, like you saw there, with Clark, of being next to the Tanuki, so that BigNoNo could pick that up and immediately heat action when needed, while also being able to do a strong attack to build the heat back up alongside free towner uses.
Mm-hmm. Also, what I just did, I went to Treasure Pond and bought a bunch of components. So, a long time ago, we would actually not. We would actually use different cannons that you didn't have to craft. You would just buy them on the boat itself, and that seemed faster. But the cannons that you craft are just so good that even though you need to do a lot of extra shopping to get them, it's well worth it. It pays for itself with time. So we will go to 3 of the 4 shops where you can buy components in Hawaii. And in Pro, you actually go to all 4 because, again, you craft the extra cannon. But in here, we'll only go to 3. So they're not all that out of the way.
Also, thank you for saying Tanuki, because I literally couldn't forget what it was, and my notes currently say the not Daruma statue.
Well, I'd say that
Close
was a
enough.
you edition, not me. Thanks.
Okay, but now we arrive at the other reason we picked up all those extra CDs earlier. We are getting a crewmate that will only agree to join us if we have 10 CDs. He wants to know that we have a refined taste in music. Our refined taste in music includes Sega Greatest Hits Volume 1 to 10 or something like that. So that is how we recruit him. Also, I forgot to mention, we also pick up a lot of these fortunes along the way. Fortunes are just items that are spread around Hawaii, and you can pack them up and bring them to the bunny in the shrine, and he will get you all sorts of items, and that will get us a treasure chest that'll give us a bunch of points and money a bit later on. Also, this tutorial right here introduces the Aloha Link system, which is a system that was introduced also in Yakuza 8 in Infinite Wealth. And what it does is basically you can emote at people on the street and they become your friends, and if you emote them enough times, they become your buddies. And it is a system, I suppose. But there is one crewmate that will only join you if you have at least 10 friends, so we are going to have to go and get them right now. And Toji in his PS4 run, because of the spawn rate or something, it takes forever?
Yeah, NPCs just don't load because you're going so fast with the surf board that they just do not load. It's really, really funny.
That is terrible.
Yeah. It's actually really funny to watch. Probably not really funny to have to go through it. But yeah, we already have 5. That's nice. Maybe even 6. Oh, I almost got run over. I thought I saw one there. Okay. But yeah, usually you can get 7 or 8 by the time you get to the next area, which is perfect if that happens. Okay, yeah, we're good. We actually got 9. Okay, we're doing really good. The fight spawn, sometimes you need to avoid it. Unfortunately, I ran into that lady, which does slow us down a bit. But yeah, no, this is good. This is good Aloha Links RNG. Very, very good. Now, if you have kids in the house, I would tell them to look away because we're about to see some difficult things. This is Aloha Happy. This introduces you to the photo rally, which is a mechanic where you can take pictures of certain things and get prizes. It's also something that's brought over from Yakuza 8. I don't think it's that great in that game, and it's not great in this game either. So we just ignore it for the entirety of the run. And here he is, Hibiki. He is the 4th best host in Kamurocho, I believe. And he needs to know that we're popular enough for him to join us. So by saying hello to 10 people, we prove to him that we're popular. Okay, we're going to do another visit here to another treasure pond. And it's always very confusing which side of the door you need to exit out of, because if you try to exit the wrong way, you'll shut the door and then you'll have to open it, and that takes time. Also, there's a fortune I want here. Sometimes this fortune has a fight spawn right on top of it, which means you need to grab an extra fortune later. There's a bit of leeway in the fortune routing because there is a bunch of variation to which ones you can pick up during a run, but usually it should be fine. This guy here is throwing rocks at a cat, and I personally do not approve of that. So we teach him a lesson by just swinging a barrel at him. Easy. And now this cat joins our playpen. He's off to hang out with our chicken. And we're actually going to see them a bit later. But this fight right here actually introduces a mechanic that we used to interact with a lot during this run, and we still do a bit in Professional. But this is the bounty mechanic. Bounty missions are just essentially boss fights that you go off and give you a bunch of money. Oh, we do actually still have one bounty fight here. Oh, that is very unlucky. Oh no. Alright. Oh no, that is extremely rotten luck. Okay, thanks for giving me heat though, I guess. Usually I would just do another swing with the barrel and then do a heat move to finish him off, but unfortunately he hit me just as my hyper armor was down. But yeah, that is your mandatory bounty fight with Domingo. Gives us a bunch of money. And that's that, and we will have one bounty fight later, but now... now is the best part of the run, pool. What fool routed this into the run, I wonder? We will never know. But yeah, pool is... there's pretty reliable setups for most of the pool maps. Some of them are a bit finicky, but it's usually not too big of an issue, and you get a lot of really nice things from playing pool. So I'm just going to focus on this, and if either of my commentators want to talk a bit about what's going on here, feel free.
Yeah, there's a
You
bunch
wanna
of
take a
different. Yeah, I was gonna say that there's a bunch of different. Oh, that was so
was a shame.
close.
Yeah.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think the hardest one is still the legend one at the very end of pool. I haven't figured out a good setup for it, but I'm sure you. I think you have a good setup for BigNoNo. I just haven't figured out a good setup for it yet. I haven't taken a look yet.
Yeah, I have decent setups. The problem is the legend maps are like exceedingly finicky. So it's like you can't consistently get them in one try, but there are setups that let you, make it manageable. And actually, the hard courses, I would say, are the easiest. Like, these are very, very consistent. I hope the game doesn't take revenge on me for saying that. Okay, nice. Yeah, and this especially, the last legend course is completely free. Because you just... Oh, just as I say that. Nice. Alright, legend is, as Toji said, these are like the difficult courses, so I'm going to focus here. I have very, very specific visual cues, and I'm trying to do this with an eye patch, so it's not ideal. I have not thought this through, apparently. Okay.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. If the ball landed to the left of the pocket, you need to line up more to the left. That is the rule of thumb. Okay, yeah. This is gonna be. This is where I get punished for my hubris. All right, I'm just gonna do the setup again.
Don't worry about it. You can take off your eye patch and unleash your full potential.
Oh no. A real ship captain never takes off his eye patch. I don't know. Oh,
Dedicated to the bit. I love it.
Oh my god. Okay, if this one doesn't work, I may actually do that. Okay.
It's too busy aura farming.
All right.
Let it be said that depth perception is incredibly important.
There you go. There you go.
Whee!
There we go.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, and you can actually quit out. You get the points the moment you finish the course, so you can quit out without doing the third one. We don't need the extra points for that. Okay, well, I sold out for pool. What can I tell you? It's a shame, but the run has to go on. So what we get out of this is a lot of points with which we can get the treasure chest, and very importantly, get Sheepman. And Sheepman, forgive the pun, is goated. Like he's one of the best crewmates in the game. The other best crewmate that we haven't really even mentioned is Chicken Man that we got earlier. You will see why very shortly. They're both very, very good. Over here, we're doing the one shop for healing items that we do in the entire run. This used to be really vibes-based in the run, but I ran the numbers and I realized we can get all we need in this one shop. And because we get the treasure chest from Pool, we can actually pick it up really easily. Like, we don't have to come back here later when we have more money or anything like that. Yeah, we keep fortune hunting here. Because I got the one earlier, I don't need to pick up the one here on the right. You need like 3 of the 4 fortunes from the one we picked up earlier and the 3 here, and you just judge by the positioning of the different fight spawns which ones you want to pick up. Also, you don't need to worry about getting into fight spawn before here, because the moment you get on the escalator, it is you just cancel out of it. So here I am again going to buy some components, but I'm also going to buy something different. This is a treasure chest that costs $20,000 and only gives us like 19,000, so you might wonder what's the point. That treasure chest is purely for points. That is purely for points for level ups we're going to get later. And also our pirate level, like the overall amount of points you have decides which power-ups open up to you. And we're gonna get a really, really nice upgrade off of this in the late game. Moldy Burger, nice. Okay, but we are almost done picking up fortunes and crewmates. This is one of the final crewmates we get, Renko. We get her for $2,000, and she's worth every dime. Renko is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for legal reasons, we cannot call the next upgrade we get here a hookshot, but this is our hookshot tutorial. And I'm also going to get an upgrade for the charge shot for the gun. Pick up another fortune here, get the chest. Now if we're lucky and everything works out in our favor, we will be able to take all these guys down with our newly upgraded gun charge. Of course, you need to remember to skip the tutorial. We've all shot these guys without skipping the tutorial, and then they just like spread around without taking any damage. And that loses you a good 30 seconds, I would say. Yeah.
It's so frustrating. Just keep pressing left D-pad.
It's the worst feeling when that happens. Because usually, if that happens, it happens with the early game tutorials, and then it's not a big deal, because you can just, you just reset, you haven't done much. But for it to happen this late in the game is very frustrating. Anyway, we're going to get another treasure chest here, just, again, a little bit extra money and points. And now we're going to do 2 very important things. One, I'm going to buy a bunch of rings. The only kind of gear you have in this game is rings. We're getting 5 of them. And this is something I would not be doing on an actual PB attempt, but we're going to do something fun. We're going to go off to the side here. Also open up a new fast travel point on the way. And we're going to pick up the Gorami set. So don't worry, Gorami fans, we have you sorted. as soon as I don't mess up my inputs. And also, this is the payout for all the fortunes we picked up. This is your 4th bunny sighting. So bunny fans are having a very, very good day today. But that's it. No more bunny. And now we turn into Julie. I guess we didn't even talk about this. The game gates your progress by having you... I feel like I have too much money. Why do I have too much money?
Always the most terrifying thing when you have too much of a resource. You're like, what did I do? What did I not do? It's the final boss. Oh, good, I have the initial weapon. Ha-ha!
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll continue to think about this. Either way, this is where we get our cannons. Oh, I need to transmute. I forgot about this.
Hey, I was going to
Laser
say
cannons?
laser cannons.
That is not the reason for the extra money.
It's super laser cannons. Okay, yeah, maybe I should have played this.
Yes. I do mean it when I say, like, I think the game is not perfect. It has some issues with the story that I think are unfortunate. But in terms of combat, I think this is the best combat in the Yakuza game since Kiwami 2. Like, the combat in this game is fantastic. I know a lot of people really like Judgment and Lost Judgment, and I like aspects of those games, but in terms of the combat, I think the combat here is much better. But okay, let us equip the most important thing, our Goromi outfit. There you go. Now we're going to have a bunch of Goromi in the run, and all is good in the world.
My girl's styling on him now.
Hell yeah. Okay, so the game is going to try to goad you into doing your crew formation. Don't do it. We don't have enough crewmates yet. We will do our the entirety of our crew formation in a bit. For now, we're going back to Rich Island. And here's the cat I promised you. You can technically skip that, but I figured I'd show you a few frames of the chicken and the cat, just so you know that they're fine. Oh no. This is a really unfortunate fight spawn to get. So obviously I got it on every single derust run I did for this. But okay, after we rest here, we're actually going to get the last ring we get in the game. You may have noticed that I bought 5 rings earlier instead of 6, and you do have 6 slots for rings. Or at least the slots that are relevant to our interests. And the reason for that is because we're also getting a ring here that is very, very good. So this is the Gaia ring, and it does 2 things. One, it does 3 things, actually. It gives you a damage buff, it gives you a defense debuff, and it makes enemies way more aggressive. So that is a lot of fun. And I think all of us, when we played this game casually, we all had the same speedrunner brain thought of, I have to route this into the run. Like, anytime we see a ring like that that's meant to make... I'm just going to save and load this. I think when you're a speedrunner, anytime you see an item like that, you have to route it in, because you have to make yourself suffer. Oh,
Sometimes
no.
the damage is so, like, wild, it's just a non-negotiable thing. Both for, like, Remake and Rebirth, we use that same type of ring. Increased damage taken. So good.
Yeah, you have that in Dark Souls with RTSR, you have that in a lot of games. But yeah, right here, everyone, when they start running this game, will like start boosting away from the island. But no, you actually need to go back to the island. Very, very typical, like, time loss for an early runner. Okay, so now we're going to put on the lasers we picked up. And we're going to get some upgrades. We're going to get another squad for the fights. We're going to get additional cannons on each side, and we're going to get 2 additional fuel tanks just for some faster traversals. We are still not doing crew formation because we actually have 1 more crewmate we need to pick up.
I was going to say, Infinite Wealth uses the Yakuza training gear pretty heavily in the run as well, if I recall.
Yes. Yep, training gear and 2 sets of ankle weights, which we actually do a very clever thing with the ankle weights, where the ankle weights equipped lower your MP. So with a character that needs to get drunk, we just put the ankle weights on, take them back off, and then they all of a sudden have enough MP space to be able to chug 2 beers.
Aye, there you go.
Okay, so Captain Beef is going to be our... I'm missing someone. Okay. Yeah, I know exactly. I know exactly why I have 2,000 extra dollars. I know exactly why. Okay. So sorry, we're going to have a bit of a time loss here. So
no.
I forgot. You know when I said I picked up Chicken Man earlier?
You
I
forgot
did
to get
not pick up Chicken Man earlier.
Oh.
I did not. I did not.
It's
That's
really
fine.
easy.
That's fine.
Like,
We can fix this quickly.
Chicken
Does
Man
that
is
also
worth...
mean no Matsuyoshi as well?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
No, it's fine. We can fix this real easy. I say, hoping that's true.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can just go back in there. It's not like story locked at any point in this game.
Yeah, no, it's more like, have I already spent money, or does this do something to the money right? No, it should be fine. Should be fine. I can't believe I forgot this. This is so ingrained. Oh well. But yeah, sorry. So right here, we go to the gambling hall, we buy some tags, and we pick up 2 crewmates. Chicken Man, because he's really good. And also, we get this guy because we might as well. We're already here.
Because we need
The thing
10.
with this game, because we need 10, essentially. The interesting thing about this game, and this is even true for professional difficulty, it doesn't matter too much who you have on the cannons. Like, they do... It does, like, give you some variation in the damage your cannons do, but, like, your squad, your fighting squad, actually matters way, way more. So the cannons you can just fill up with whoever. Alright, that's fine. That is a big, big boo-boo, but now we're back on track. It's all good. I'm just going to see if I need to save and load before I finish the crew formation menu. But yeah, now I know. At least now I know why I have why I had all the extra money. Okay, so crew formation. Where was I? Chicken Man, Jonathan, and these guys we just fill up because we don't really care who's in here. Okay, cool. Crisis averted, kinda. And this introduces us to our first tournament fight. So tournament fights are just generally a sequence of boat fights followed by deck battles. And now you might wonder, how good are the super lasers? This good. They basically just liquefy any boat we fight in the early game. It's actually hilarious how fast it is to take these guys down with the super lasers. Alright, so can someone please explain why I'm going for the squad leaders in this fight as I go for the squad leaders in this fight?
Yeah, if you see the bottom bar, bottom middle, you'll see obviously Magma Squad with 7, 10 left of the enemies. If you see the big icon, that's Leader Smith, the BigNoNo is going for, but there are 3 smaller red icons. When those big 3, or what will be 4 from every fight from now on, icons are still on the board, the bar below is filling up, much like BigNoNo's bar. When that bar gets to full, the enemy, or you, but you have a chance, obviously, like, only have to use it by pressing a button, which you'll see in a fight later on. The enemy will just do a short little animation, and then they'll get a whole bunch of different things depending on which fight it happens in, like extra defense, HP regen, more attack. Basically a big pain in the backside thing you just don't want to happen in a speedrun. So the idea is to basically take down those quotation marks leaders, whilst also taking care of a lot of like the smaller enemies, and gone good.
Yep. Also, you're going to see me get into this fight and stay in Sea-Dog. You actually move slower in Sea-Dog, but I actually want to move slower because I want to drag these guys with me a good chunk of the way so I can avoid any other fight spawns on the way up here. Because there can very often be a fight spawn coming down the stairs here if you don't do this. The downside is sometimes one of these guys will stay too close, and you'll have to defeat them before you can talk to this guy, but it usually doesn't happen.
When we get a chance, can we refresh the game? Getting a little bit of audio crunch here. I want to make sure this is as good as possible.
I'm being told we may want to refresh the game. I'll try. Yeah, I'll try. Just I can just save and quit and load back in.
I think we're.
Let me do that
Can
real
you
quick.
just call it, redo the remix call, reconnect with the gameplay? I think it should do what we need.
Shoutouts to audio specific capture in
Yeah.
Windows 10.
Voice of producer action here. Yeah, we one of our fun technical things that caused us to be a little late today was figuring out the audio for the audio capture for the game, and we knew that it might break up at some point. We had hoped that we had gotten around that, but yeah, we're
It's all right.
Does it sound okay
taking a
now?
listen to it now. Yeah, it sounds like it's better now that we've had the restart.
Okay, cool. Because I can also restart the OBS stream.
Yeah. We'll let you know if we need that, but I think we're doing all right at the moment. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Right here, we're going to get another treasure chest. This is the stone carpet, which gives you around 10k points and money. It's really good, and it's like completely free to pick up. As I fall down here, I'm going to also get damage upgrade 5. Ooh, beautiful. We actually, for a very similar reason, we want these guys here. We want them to follow us. Where is that guy going? I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Don't get stuck, sir. Please follow me. Oh. Okay. Nice. So for the fight here, I'm going to start with the boomerang. I'm going to throw it backwards to put on some damage on these enemies, run forward, take out the gun guy here, and then hopefully gun all these guys down in one. Nope, that didn't work. We have one survivor, but that still went pretty well. Usually you have one straggler you need to clean up, but one is still pretty fast. Okay, I lied earlier and said we don't do bounties anymore in any percent. We actually do. We do this guy, Wade. So I'm going to start with the heat we got from the last fight. I'm going to heat move him with this chair that's right next to me, so that's very handy. Now I'm going to go here, and I'm going to position myself to hopefully hit both him and his goons. Grab a beer during the swing. I didn't put any damage on his dudes. That is very bad. I'm going to try... Oh no, that's terrible. This is extremely unlucky. Oh, I'm almost dead. Okay, new plan. Use these barrels. He dropped the barrel. I love this man. I love this video game. That is the Dragon Engine for you folks. These things just happen sometimes.
That's just pure Dragon Engine right there.
Seems like the downside is we can't even go with the tried and true. That's never happened before.
No, not really. That is sadly very typical. Okay, we have another... So that money is for an upgrade menu coming up. I'm going to do it right before talking to Jason here. Sometimes there's a fight spawn here that you need to save and load to get rid of, so it's just easier to do it like that. I'm going to get my attack up to 7, and I'm going to get an upgrade called Chain Readiness, and an upgrade called Chain Reaction. And what Chain Reaction does is allow you to do stuff like this. Chain Reaction is very good for like hitting enemies from a distance, getting past defenses. It's, along with the gun, one of the best ways to get past enemies blocking. Right here, you can't skip this cutscene right away, so the visual cue I use is the subtitles in the first cutscene. And right here, when like Majima's heel is out of frame, that's when you can skip the second one. Very, very hyper-specific stuff. But when you play a game entirely too much, you have time to think about this stuff.
Very arbitrary visual cue for like, okay, now I can skip the cutscene because the game can skip it.
It's really weird like that. So here I'm going to hit this guy as soon as possible. You always get countered, but the thing is, it triggers his counter early. And then you can counter him, heavy attack the guy after, and then parry these two. And that's basically as fast as you can do this fight. If you want to get greedy, I think you can sometimes heavy attack one of the other guys' Ooh, what was that? I think you can sometimes heavy attack one of the other guys as well, but it's such a marginal time save and it's so inconsistent that I just have not seen the reason to start doing that. But yeah, gun is very good. What's not good is that I waited too long to hit that guy. Okay, bit of a messy fight, but that's fine. But hey, this is one of many set pieces you get in this run, and I actually really like it. The set pieces in this game are very, very good. And it kind of mitigates an issue with a lot of recent Yakuza games where you don't really get set pieces where you go to fights without there being a cutscene in between them. That's something that we talked a lot about in Gaiden. Also a game with a... Okay, I didn't hit anyone. Excellent. But yeah, Gaiden also has a lot of great set pieces, but you just kind of wish sometimes that they would stop with the cutscenes and just let you go from fight to fight. So this game is a bit better in that regard. Also, this run does not have a lot of downtime. It's basically this cutscene and another like minute break we have later in the run is the only time that you really get to catch your breath. So this is a somewhat lengthy and strenuous run, but I do really recommend it. I think it's well worth the effort to get into. Also, I guess I'm on RPG limit break, so this doesn't even like begin to scratch the definition of what passes for long runs around here. So the big risk in this fight is the gun guys and the grenade guy, of course, because they can really they're not really that scary on easy in terms of damage, but they can stagger you for a long time with their shots. So yeah, you just want to be careful with that. Ooh, everyone ulting at the same time. That is kind of scary. Okay, that was a bit messy, but wasn't too bad. Now what we hope is that we stay in combat mode all the way to the end, so we can just like that. So you can get your top speed all the way to the boss fight. Now right here, this is another feature of chain readiness, or chain reaction, I forget. You can actually hook enemies and go up behind them, and at least on lower difficulties, it makes it much easier to combo them. And for the second phase, this is a Toji strat. So we wait for the drop-down move, and then you press A, and that lines you up perfectly, or times you perfectly to counter that last attack.
Very consistent.
And that is a very, very consistent fight. Yeah, extremely consistent fight. At this point, by the way, we've not talked about this game's story at all, and I mean... trust me, you're better off. But Noel was actually taken out of our party at this point, and the game tells you, oh, you can put him back in. On any percent and New Game Plus, you don't do this because on easy, you're unlikely to need to get healed during the deck battles, but on professional, you do want to bring him back in. Because professional, man, some of the later deck battles in professional are really scary. But okay, so here's a question for everyone. Have you heard about the concept of pacing in storytelling? Because the people who've made this game have not. Because this chapter would ideally end right now, but instead they elect to introduce you to this side story about a group called the Devil Flags, and it's like casually, I don't know, probably around an hour that kind of goes nowhere. In the run, it's not that bad because the fights here are pretty fun. But this is like, I think everyone remembers this as the part in their playthrough where they were like, I can't believe the game is forcing me to do all this right now.
I mean, I'd heard the Yakuza games kind of like are heavy-handed with their story segments, but it's a bit different hearing it directly from a runner rather than on the scuttlebutt.
So the thing is, that is true to an extent. Like, they do want you to engage with the side content. These games are not obviously meant to be played fast. These are games that are meant to, really engage with all the aspects of. You're supposed to be playing them for weeks and months.
Yep.
And, obviously when these games are new and we play them casually, that's what we do as well. But yeah, something about this game, it's way more insistent, I feel, than previous Yakuza games on forcing you to do side content. And this is like one example of that getting kind of out of hand. I don't know if anyone else feels that way as well, but I definitely felt that casually. We're getting rid of Masaru because, as we've seen, he's useless, and we're putting in Renko, Sheepman, and Chicken Man. I've done love testing, and I will assure you, these guys are easily the best. So much so that I believe even on... Okay, nice. We use Chicken Man and Sheep Man on... Oh my god. I've really not taken down a lot of the gun guys. That is very unfortunate.
There's always a sneaky one.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Jason should finish that guy off. Nice.
Thank you, Sheep Man.
Mm-hmm. Sheepman and Chicken Man, you can just... Oh, you can skip this. You can just always rely on them to pull their weight. Renko is also very good. The only reason we don't use Renko in New Game Plus is because you have access to Kiryu Kazuma. And, like, it's kind of hard to compete with Kiryu Kazuma, you know? But, okay, we have another lengthy selling section. Go to save and load right here. When you pick up the poop. Generally, for me, the best visual cue for when to do a save and load is by remembering my position relative to those blue chests. Because usually it's either the penultimate one or the last one that you hover over, and then you can safely save and load and know that it'll actually despawn the fight. In some of these traversals, I try not to cancel my boost the moment the speed goes down because, again, you don't have enough boost for the whole thing, so I try to draw it out a bit more. But this is like very, very esoteric stuff. These are not usually the things you need to worry about if you're just starting out with the run. Okay, so coming up here is our first official Devil Flags fight. And this will play out pretty much like any other boat fight. You know, we have the boat battle and then the deck battle. We're used to it by now. And this first one, again, super lasers go burr. I'm just going to boost, turn. And that is that. The super lasers are just, it's funny how good they are. Now right here, I'm going to try to position in a way that, again, I'm pretty sure Toji came up with this. So I used to, that is the downside of that lineup, is that sometimes you can get interrupted like that. But yeah, you basically go to the side, and that way you can shoot down a lot of enemies at once. It is very, very good. Hello?
Yeah, it is good. It's just really unfortunate whenever, you know, they interrupt you when you're charging your gun. Other than that, though, yeah, it's pretty good. Clearing out all those enemies at once.
Even then, I think you probably... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, it looks like you have Sheepman being really helpful this run.
That is, yeah, usually Sheepman and Chickenman are out there doing their best. Wish I could say the same for the rest of the crew. But, yeah, I think even when you get interrupted, you at worst break even with the old strat, so it's still is worth doing. But yeah, one thing that I actually have not really appreciated until recently is the amount of boost you have from the traversal actually sticks for the fight itself. So we're going to see when we start the next fight, we will have no boost whatsoever. Luckily, there's one right in front of us we can pick up, but that is something to think of. For example, Toji, I'm assuming that in like all treasures or something like that, that's something that you had to take into account a lot more often.
Yeah, it's there's still a lot of routing to be done for all treasures because I feel like, you know, some things I haven't really optimized yet, but yeah, no, definitely boosts are very important. It is nice that you do also get boosts from destroying ships too,
Yeah.
which can help later on as well.
Yeah, and that's actually something we're going to see in one of the late game fights. Like, really heavily relies on the boosts you get from taking down enemies. All right, this layout is kind of different, which I think is kind of cool. They're like on the to the length as opposed to the width, or is it the other way around? I don't remember. Either way, you want to line these guys up to all get shot at once. They are not really cooperating with that. Okay, got it. Nice. That was pretty good. Jason just glowing in the sun. He feels he's done his part. This part is always really confusing to me because I forget how many cutscenes you actually have to skip here. Because you have a cutscene when you first get to Roka Islands, and then when you get into the first boat fight, and then after the boat fight, and then when you go into the island here, it's a lot of cutscene skips. Oh, that's really bad that I missed the... Oh my god. Alright, I'm just gonna... Thank you, Sheepman. Okay, I think that's enough. Nice. Okay, that was kind of bad luck, the way that those enemies didn't group up, so I couldn't shoot them all down, but thankfully Chicken Man, Sheepman, and Ranko all did a lot of work. Jason, not so much. Also, in this tutorial, we learned that Majima has a power to summon evil sharks from hell with this magic violin. This is a serious crime drama, by the way. And this is the one time you can't actually skip the sharks cutscene. I always try to get a shot here because sometimes an enemy might block, and yeah, they can block the evil sharks from hell. So you need to finish them off with the gun. That is much more of a problem on Professional than it is on any percent or New Game Plus. But yeah, the game introduced another kind of different mechanic here, where it's the 100-man fight. Where basically the change here is that all of your crewmates get to participate in this. Also, I need to find the last guy. Okay, I guess they got taken care of by someone. But yeah, once you're done with the squad leaders and there's no concern about them using their voltage move, you then have to deal with the captain. And usually if you take down all the big guys, it really motivates your team to take down the goons, but as you can see, that doesn't always happen. There's another guy left. They're cheating. They're not supposed to have that many squad leaders. Jason. Okay. Eventually someone did something. I love this game. But okay, that ends the Devil Flags segment, and also brings us pretty close to the end of Chapter 2. We just have to go to Hawaii and fast travel, essentially. And you also see, again, this is another artifact of us picking up the Goromi outfit, which you're about to see right now, by the way. So, enjoy that. But yeah, because we went over to where the Goromi outfit is, we get a fast travel location that's actually closer to where we need to go. So, we get a bit of our time lost back, but obviously nowhere near as much as we lose for picking up Goromi. And okay, that is Chapter 2. That was like over an hour of the run. There's a weird thing with how these side games are designed. Like both this and Gaiden are 5 chapters long, and in both of them, Chapter 2 is just the biggest part of the run by a very wide margin. Captain Beef is going to make me do a side quest. I am not going to entertain that. And yeah, I believe we're now, well, I don't believe, I know, we're going to fight one of the most annoying bosses in the game. And just to rub it in, we're going to have to fight this guy twice. So this is Shigaki, who is actually played by the guy who played Majima in the live-action Amazon TV show, which I would not hold that against him. He actually does a good job as Majima, I feel. But yeah, he likes to do those little dodge moves. So for some reason, Majima decided not to heat move him. Okay, that went pretty well.
There you go.
Sure wish someone would finish the Saw guy off. He was 1 HP. Sure wish someone would land a hand. Never mind. It's fine. Alright, so now that we're done with Shigeki, we have another boss fight. I probably need a beer for this, yeah. because if you got a lot of heat from if you have a lot of heat left from the last fight, you don't need to use the beer here. But we only had like one enemy and like one HP guy left, so had to use the beer. But yeah, this is Saijima. This is our sworn brother. He is a cool guy, and he is actually very useful in this run. And what I'm going to do with this man is I'm going to chain reaction him, combo him a bit, and now hopefully... Oh... Okay, nice. So yeah, by doing a bit of damage and doing the one barrel heavy attack, we get him into the skite, which we fail. Failing this is 4 seconds faster than succeeding it. And once that's done, I'm going to do... notice how I still have the barrel in hand. If you time this correctly, then he can't actually catch you during the barrel swing animation. So you just get another hit on him, and then heat move, and the fight is done. And I do love that as he's lying face down on the ground, he's like, yeah, let's go. Gotta admire that indomitable spirit.
You know, did we ever mention that Majima has amnesia in this game?
We have not said a single thing about this game story. Which really goes to show you how pertinent it is. But yeah, you can like feel free if either one of you wants to talk about the story. Go for it.
Yeah, the reason why Majima woke up fighting Keith is because Majima just, as far as we know so far, something's happened. Surprise. Majima's ended up on Rich Island, like just out in the middle of nowhere. No idea who he is. The game does a very funny thing of being all like, ignore the fact that he's communicating perfectly in English with everybody. Don't worry about it. And yeah, no, he's just going around doing pirate things whilst not really caring about getting his memory back. And then, you know, Saijima turns up.
Yeah, and Saijima tells him, look, you have an obligation to these people in Japan, and Majima just goes, I don't know her. He just doesn't remember anything, doesn't care. But it is really funny that this is one of the first slides in the game where he essentially says, you're probably wondering how we communicated given the language barrier, just don't worry about that. And then the game just keeps going. Which is a very...
that video games do, of like not telling you the reason why, but it tells you exactly we're not going to tell you, which I kind of respect.
Yeah. And it's also, you kind of feel like that's something that Majima would do. Telling a story. Either way, right here I'm going to have to beer up again in a little bit. This fight is very, very RNG heavy because it really is going to depend a lot on how enemies group up. And we do want the heat move here. A heat move, I should say. Okay, switch to Sea Dog. And now I'm going to position myself to try and get in front of all these guys. Okay, that is not bad. Stay like that. Oh, beautiful. Okay, okay. This is pretty good. This should one-shot him. Nice. Okay, that was a good fight. So, yeah, if those guys... If Kobayashi's goons spread out too much, then you have to shoot them a lot, and also you might not hit him with any of the shots. So that also slows things down, because if he's full health, then one heat move is not going to finish him off. But no, that went very well. Right here, again, if you've played Yakuza 8, you might be familiar with this lady, Machiko. She is going to ask you for 10k to set Masaru up with a hostess or something. I don't know. Don't do it. He doesn't deserve it, and we need the money.
In Infinite Wealth, we also don't own her, thank you very much. We don't know her. No idea.
Nice.
Nope.
So right here, I'm not actually getting anything. The game just forces you to go to Julie again, I guess in case you forgot that this is a mechanic in the game. Get it? Mechanic? No, never mind. But thank you. In Pro, you actually use that occasion to get the coconut gun. And if it sounds funny to you to have a coconut gun in this run, it is, actually. It's one of the only things in Pro that makes you laugh instead of cry. I do love Pro as a run that I've met. It is brutal. Sorry?
I was going to say the coconut gun makes a fun noise. That's why it makes me chuckle, too.
Mm-hmm. But okay, in order to see... Actually, Froob, I know you always enjoy this. Do you want to talk about the guy we're about to meet here?
Ah, yes. Spade Tucker. I don't know why his name constantly makes me laugh. Essentially, what we're doing in terms of the story is whatever story there is, we're looking for, or we've been tasked to find a specific, treasure. It was a goal of Masaru's and Jason's a long time ago. The treasure of the Esperanza, and apparently this old American dude who's 90 plus, whose name is Spade Tucker. He apparently has a lead on the treasure of the Esperanza. So he's here in Madlantis for reasons that I don't remember. He's not being allowed to leave by the main bad guy, Raymond Law, who is played by Samoa Joe, you may know them, and also Queen Michelle, who we'll figure out how to deal with her later on as well. But Queen Michelle has her own stuff going on, but Raymond basically is you gotta go find that treasure. Spade Tucker, we want to go and find so we can find that treasure, and, pirates, thick as thieves, you know the drill.
Yep. It's a very... fighting football, where they came up with the fake player names like Sleeve McDickle and Bobson Dugnut. It's that kind of American name. Also, I know I'm a broken record.
Because of how much they've been working with RGG in the West, I really want to know whether or not they had input on the name from RGG West or not. Or if it's just a RGG in Japan name.
Honestly,
we've had some good English names in this series.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm RGG West, I'm not changing any of that. That is staying in as far as I'm concerned.
Shoutouts to my boy Kevin Nagilny.
I've forgotten the second name, but the baseball player in Kiwami 2, Bob something. He's like Cherry Bob or something like that. It's just this is just an RGG name.
Mike Truck. I forgot about all these. I just pulled up the reference that Nono made, and some of these are just man, they are pure beauty.
By the way, this fight exactly the same as the first fight in the last tournament. The only change is during the boat phase. Sorry. Where's the guy? Lost track of him for a moment. Sorry. Yeah, the only difference is those guys had 2 extra boats, but we just ignored them, even on Pro. People who have tried to do all the Coliseum battles on Pro will know the pain of trying to S-rank some of the later fights in the Coliseum, because not only can you ignore the other boats, but you kind of have to for the sake of time, and they just wail on you as you try to destroy the main boat. It is something. Okay, took a bit of a risk here, but I felt like it's better to finish off the captain early. Ooh, nice. Ranko, hell yeah. Alright, very important, do not overmash confirm, because the game does not take you out of the tournament menu after this one. Even though you only need these 2 tournaments to go talk to Spade Tucker. Alright, but getting to this level actually allows us to go to the luxury hotel And at this point, we are going to begin officially the Spade Tucker cutscene. This fight right here is pretty simple. It's just the main guy right in front of us, who apparently is called Sanderson. I don't know how I didn't notice that until now. But yeah, that guy can kind of get out of hand, but these other guys are pretty easy to deal with. Also, that was pretty good, I gotta say. Pretty clean fight. Okay, so first cave fight is actually one of the other, like, one of the last places. This might even be the last place we use the boomerang. So I'm going to start a combo here. I want to take the main guy out. And, okay, I was hoping to chain... I was hoping to chain that into boomerangs. Ah, that's a shame. That did not go too well. It's a shame I got interrupted. Because usually you can just chain a combo into the boomerangs, and terrible grouping here. Very unfortunate. Anyway, so once again, it's faster to move around in Mad Dog, so that's what we switch to during traversal. But for the most part, during the actual combat, we want the guns, so we are going to switch to Sea Dog. And it's very beneficial in these fights to, like, use the doorways to kind of funnel enemies in. This way they all group up and you can take them down much faster with the gun. Also, if anyone wants to explain what's going on here, because I do need to focus on the timing a bit.
Yep, so like earlier, this is a swashbuckling section. Basically, BigNoNo, if BigNoNo can time it right, which they obviously did, they can use just the strong attack and be able to take care of all of them. There's a nice little kind of rhythm to it. Like, if you can get the rhythm from the first one, you can just basically get the rhythm for the next one. And then, as always with every secret pirate cave hideout, here's a hallway of lasers. You can just jump over.
I kind of played that safe, but it does suck to get knocked down by those lasers.
This room's particularly annoying because there are several enemies that have guns, especially in like the second wave as well. They're kind of like rifles. They actually do a surprising amount of damage.
Luckily, I can summon evil sharks from hell, so that helps. Ooh, he actually got really nicely staggered. That is the best that fight has gone for me in a while. Because if that guy hyper armors,
really
yeah, like he can really be a big problem. Right here, use plant. Do not break plant.
One, if not both of these guys, will likely guard at some point.
Oh, that's a shame.
Thank
Okay,
you,
not too bad.
Armstrong.
So now, if you're worried about the length of the run, this is where you actually have a built-in break. This is like a minute where you don't have to do anything. Because this is another QTE that's actually faster to fail. Not by a lot, I think. This is a good time to talk about this. So, today is the first day of Frame Fatales, the speedrunning marathon for women and femmes on Games Done Quick. And our friend and Yakuza speedrunning compatriot Garlic Dread on Tuesday is going to run the New Game Plus category for this game. So I would really appreciate if the run looks cool to you, please go over there and give her some support. And support Frame Fatales in general, because I think it's an important marathon. It's good that it exists. But yeah, Garlic Dread is who really crunched the numbers on which QTEs are faster to fail or succeed and by how much. So we owe a lot of that, all of that knowledge to her. So if you... that is kind of scary. Okay, so if you play this right, you can two-cycle this guy. On New Game Plus, you can actually one-cycle him, which is really nice. Okay, we should be fine. But yeah, he's like, if you played the... if you play the first level of Star Fox 64 and you don't, you get the easy route, then you fight the guy who just has the big, like, green-looking thing on his back that you need to hit to take him down. Same concept with this boss. So, if that's a good frame of reference for you, if you're as old as I am, then have that. But yeah, we're actually coming up on the last part of Chapter 3, and also our last level up menu. So we are going to get 2 heat moves. One is Rain of Blood. We'll see Rain of Blood later. And the other is Sidearm Shuffle, which we're going to see pretty soon, and I'm just going to let that one speak for itself. Actually, would anyone like to explain Sidearm Shuffle and when we want to use it as I'm doing this?
Yeah, certainly. With Sidearm Shuffle, it's a heat move that is an extension of the chain hook that you use. So as you'll see, BigNoNo is going to use it immediately on Rodriguez and then hit a heat action. As you'll see, it'll do many HP bars worth of damage. But the reason why it works really well on Rodriguez 1 is because Rodriguez 1 doesn't have the same invulnerability state that most of the bosses in this game have. Very cheeky of him to pull out that guard mid-combo. I heard that.
Yeah, not very common, but it does happen. Alright, some fun time with guns. This is actually a pretty beneficial fight to have here because it lets us refuel our heat for next fight. Ooh, the 2-shot. That was really good. That's happened to me twice. Once today and the other time yesterday. Alright, so right here we fight Rodriguez 2, and you might question why I don't just use Sidearm Shuffle again. As Froob explained, a lot of bosses in this game are HP gated, so I can only do this much damage. So if I use Sidearm Shuffle, it's obviously a very long animation, and it doesn't really give us the benefit you want for, you know, the time it lasts. So we prefer to use weaker, but also much, much faster heat moves. Now, this guy can be a bit of a pain. Please don't do that. Alright. I'm just going to do some of this. This is going a bit pear-shaped, but this should finish the fight. Oh, it doesn't. Nice.
I'm surprised that wasn't enough damage. The barrel does a lot.
Yeah, you want to soften him up, I guess, to like a bar and a half before the heat move. And I was a bit above that. Oh well. But that's Chapter 3. So we're actually... We're on the last leg of the run, I would say. It's not... We still have some time to go. But this is what I would call late game, Chapter 4 and 5. And Chapter 4... Man, when you start out learning this game, or even when you're de-rusting it, this is where you can lose a lot of time. Also, we just got Saejima in the crew, and I'm going to put him in because Saejima... I guess we've not really talked about that. Different crewmates will give you different buffs when they're put as either your first mate or squad leaders. So... Captain B, for example, we put him as a first mate because he increases your damage to sterns. Basically, when you hit the side of a boat. And the squad leaders we pick mostly because they give you damage buffs. But while Jason increases, like the description says, he increases your squad's damage, Saejima actually greatly increases it, so it's a bigger buff. So that's why we replaced Jason, but we keep him on in the squad because he is a good fighter. Like, he is good to have in the squad. Just not as good as Saejima as a leader. Alright, I'm gonna try and line all these guys up for a shot. This sometimes just doesn't work. Okay, good. Okay, perfect fight. This looks very easy, and it usually is, but sometimes they'll spread around a bit, and you'll have to take care of like individual goons, and it's a really nice way to lose a good chunk of time in the late game. But yeah, this is where I get a bit indignant with this game, because look at my objective. Report to Jason. I'm the captain. Hello? I don't report to anyone. Excuse me? Rude. And of course, because the contender qualifier opened up, you think, oh, you need to go to the Coliseum. Haha, you fool. Obviously, you need to go back to Jason, and then the Coliseum. But yeah, this part is really, really confusing, because you go between the hotel and the boat and Hawaii and the castle, and like, it takes a long time to be able to keep track of everything going on in this part. Okay. So now we're actually going to contention qualifier. This used to be a very, very scary part of the run, and it's still, you can still die here sometimes, like it's not free or anything. But usually you should be fine. It's on professional difficulty. On the professional run that you really, really need to watch out for this fight. Like, this has killed many, many of my pro runs. Nice. And now turn around. Cool. You can usually get like a lower 20. I think maybe you can even get a 19-second boat fight, but that was still pretty good. So I'm going to shoot off a volley to the right and hopefully take out both the guys there. Nice, that worked. So now we have some beefy dudes here that we need to take care of. Ooh, okay. That kick is actually kind of scary. That does a lot of damage, even on, hello? Even on easy. Okay. Now the important part is that we took out the squad leaders, because their voltage ability is really scary. They all pull out guns and start shooting, and that is a really good way for your entire crew to die. And even if you manage to survive it, your crew does not get revived between rounds. So you'd essentially be fighting the next fight solo, which, you know, good luck. But these guys are a lot less scary. But we still need to be a bit careful here. They have a nasty grab attack that they do. No, do not exit the minigame. I don't know why I pressed start. Alright, here I'm actually going to use the Vulture ability. So because we only have Gora slotted in, it's just a damage buff. But it's a really good damage buff. And it's really, even though that animation is kind of slow, it just speeds up the fight so much, because I just like cut through these guys like butter, whereas without the buff, it would take a while to get rid of them. Yeah, and you need to watch out, because like I said, these guys have a grab attack that's really nasty, but also their captain has a shock attack that knocks you down. Kind of brings you back to some of the older Yakuza runs, like Yakuza 0, where anytime you see a guy with a stun gun, you know you have to get rid of that guy ASAP. Man, it's been a while since I ran 0. I need to go back to that game at some point. At any rate, so at this point, the receptionist at the Coliseum helpfully tells us that there's a really good cannon we can get in a Y that we would want for some future fights. Now, he's lying in multiple ways, because our cannon is already the best you can really get. Right here I'm going to get an ability called Pistol Madness. And for this one you actually need the... Oh, I forgot to do something. That's fine, I'll remember to do it later. I needed to get a rocket launcher, but I don't have to do it now. It's fine, it's fine. Anyway, Pistol Madness is only accessible to us because we reached Pirate level 4, which is why we got a lot of those extra points earlier. And what Pistol Madness does is it basically builds up our Madness gauge. So usually Madness just builds up through damage. And through damage it builds up really slowly, and heat moves. What Pistol Madness does is it also builds it up through just regular pistol attacks. As long as you hit multiple enemies. And it is very, very important. I really hoped this guy would not survive. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so I'm gonna wait for Keith to attack. Hyper armor through that. Heat move. GG. That wasn't too bad. It's a shame I got knocked down, but it was relatively clean. That can go a lot worse. Right here, some positioning tricks for you. I'm going to shoot all these guys. Hopefully take all of them down with one shot. Nice. Oh, one left. And now all these guys are going to group up to attack me, and I can just take them down all together in one combo. Really important in this fight, do not let the mini-bosses ult. Oh, they're going to ult. Yep. Okay. That could have gone a lot worse. But yeah, the problem with them is when they ult, they do that shot that interrupts your shots, and it makes the fight much slower. Now for this big group, I'm going to use the whale, because there's a lot of gun guys here and a lot of shield guys, and they are very, very annoying to deal with otherwise. Oh my god. Okay. Man, he just hyper-armored through the sharks. That's something. If you can, it's good to end that fight in Mad Dog, because you save... If you're in Sea Dog, you lose a couple of seconds to Majima doing an animation where he transitions to Mad Dog at the end. It's faster to do it yourself. Now, Keith here has an HP gate, but his friend Rima does not, so you know what that means. And after this, yeah. It's funny because, you know, we have a Kuze from Zero, who's this iconic boss fight, and everyone remembers Kuze from their first fight of Zero. You fight, their first playthrough. You fight Kuze 5 times. But obviously, a great character like Keith, 5 times would not be enough. You need to give him something over Kuze. Oh, that's bad, that's bad. Okay, he didn't ult. Nice. That went pretty well. If he's not next to the wall and you can't do the heat move, you need to go and grab a weapon from the side to heat move him, and it's a whole thing. Okay, so right here I want to put on as much damage as possible before smashing into Jack's boat. This should finish. Nice. Okay. So we didn't lose much time here. Normally what you would do is finish him off with the rocket launcher, but I forgot to get it, so this is fine. This is only like a second slower. Now you're about to see the other heat move we picked up, called Rain of Blood. So what it does, with a fully charged shot, you can use a heat move and then hit up to 5 enemies. And the nice thing is it actually usually picks up the strongest enemies in the fights and hits them. And I'm actually going to use it twice, because this way you do a lot of damage to Jack, and also tend to clear out a lot of the squad leaders. So let's see if any of them are left. Okay, yeah, we've got some left, but they don't have a lot of HP. Okay, so I actually... Oh no, one of them didn't get... Wait, who survived that? Hello? Okay, I did not realize one of them actually lived
into the gun attack at all.
Yeah, that's weird, but someone took care of them. I'm guessing Sheepmen. Because they were full HP and suddenly they were just liquefied, so that's got Sheepmen written all over it. Nice. This is the cannon we get, by the way, the flame cannon. It's worthless. But yeah, that's all the Keith and all the Jack you get in this run. I know you're going to miss them. They were such great characters. But sadly, that is it for them. And now is the part where the game really likes to mess with you. So it sends us to the Coliseum, but then we get a cutscene saying, oh no, actually you want to go over to the castle. So we are going to do that right now. A lot of people, when they start running this game, will go to the castle in, like, at the earlier point when you need to actually go to the hotel first. It's very, very confusing. I actually had a New Game Plus record that lost half a minute to making that mistake. It is no longer in the record, thankfully, but yeah, it's like very, very easy to get it wrong here. Alright, regular pirate fight. The most important thing is to get rid of the two gun guys. Okay. On the side, apparently, that guy heard me and was like, I feel disrespected. Hello? Brother. Okay. Nice. That was a big mess. Yeah, those guys hyper armoring was just very unfortunate. It happens. It's fine. Okay, but surely now we go to the Coliseum, right? It's time. The game is telling us it's time to challenge Mortimer. It's main story stuff. We get a lot of kicks, by the way, if you play this game a lot, from just how often, not only how often the game repeats voice lines, but like the same NPC, the same like 2-3 NPCs will say the same voice line in quick succession. It's from, like, that bug started in Yakuza 8, I believe, and it's kind of weird that they've not done anything about it yet, because it is kind of maddening. Anyway, no Coliseum, Troll, we actually go to Jason again for some reason. Okay, at this point we're told that Masaru left the crew, which fine by me, but apparently for some reason we're going to go get him back. And do I have any gamers in chat? If so, you're in luck, because we're going to the gaming hall. Okay, we
Gaming.
fight Masaru. I agree. That was very dramatic. Okay. So we fight Masaru again, but luckily we don't have to do it with just Mad Dog style. We are doing it in Mad Dog style, but this time we have good weapons to use on him. So right away I'm going to grab the spell, use a heat move, and now I want to get him to his HP gauge, so I'm going to swing. During the swing, I'm going to use some heat recovery items. Wait for the actual... Hello? Okay. Much like a lot of other games like this, the game does not function on stairs. Sometimes you can take him down before he uses his ult. Didn't manage to do it. It's fine. Okay, that was weird. Alright. And now, after all that, we can finally actually go to the Coliseum and do our last Coliseum fight of the game. Just don't forget to bring Masaru back into the crew. Because while he's not good as a squad member, as like a fighting crewmate, you do want him on the cannons, just because otherwise you only get one volley from the cannons, and that is not good. Don't try to skip this too early. And okay, the Mortimer fight. This fight, honestly, even on Pro, it's not really an issue, but you do... This fight is more a challenge to be optimal in than it is, like... It's not one that's very likely to kill you. But yeah, just move cleanly, use the turrets, and as you can see, it's pretty fast. The part that can be a lot more frustrating is this one coming up, because this deck battle, it's possible, but it's very, very difficult to finish all the squad leaders off before they use their vault move. or ability, whatever you want to call it. It kind of heavily depends on how well the sharks work here. Actually, not looking too bad. Maybe we can do this. No, we're gonna get it. That's a shame. My crewmates actually did some work with the regular enemies, but they didn't put much damage on this guy. I love it when Sheepman actually hits this guy in the air. Okay. That's fine. I didn't need to save time. It's so funny when you dodge the ult and still don't get the counter. Anyway, another swashbuckling fight with Morty here. It's pretty consistent, but it is precise though. So I'm just gonna quickly focus on this. Okay. What you want to do, and this is just something you have to get used to with the animations, you want to time it so your heavy attacks come in as he's starting to do a counterattack, but like before he can actually hit you with it. It's not super tight, but it is fairly specific of a timing. Okay, Mortimer does have an HP gate, but hold on. This is something I started doing recently. This should time us perfectly. Okay, excellent. Yeah, because he has so much HP, despite having the HP gate, it's better to just do two sidearm shuffles on him. And I believe that's something that also Toji started doing. Like that's a Toji strat as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think I did start it. Yeah, it's a pretty good strat. I think it's consistent. You just have to for that second sidearm shuffle. The way you do it is like perfect, you know, because sometimes it won't register if you try to do it too early and things like that. But yeah, it's great.
Yeah. As you can imagine, I like discovered it completely by accident because I just did the wrong combo. But yeah, it does seem to work very consistently. Okay, so it's a good thing I remembered. Now I need to buy the meteor launcher. This is going to be really important coming up. But yeah, the strat for Mortimer's phase 2 used to be like just drink some beer and try to build some heat off of him and do another heat move like from the wall, and it was very awkward and very slow. So yeah, a second sidearm shuffle is perfect. Well, we fought Mortimer, and we're about to head off to find the treasure of the Esperanza. So yeah, I think this is where the chapter ends. You know, unless on the way there we like fight a huge aquatic life form, but I mean that would be stupid. That wouldn't happen in a game like this, I don't think.
No, definitely not. Not in this game.
Nope. Serious crime drama. Alright, I'm going to focus here, so someone take the wheel and explain what happens in this part of the run.
Yeah, so basically what BigNoNo is doing is what we like to call two-cycle squid. So as you can see, the squid has two giant tentacles on either side. Both of them have their own HP bar. That's one of the big reasons for the meteor launcher itself to do enough damage to one shot. Both of those. Then BigNoNo is positioned just so that they can start shooting with the lasers on one side of the ship, getting off a couple of shots with the machine guns, drifting around to be able to hit the other lasers as well, and then hopefully be in position as soon as it gets up. You can actually, the very first volley with the squid,
you don't go after it because it will always drop down. And the nice thing is, if you look at the HUD at the top, you'll always see where it goes. And if BigNoNo can do the drifting and the timing right and the lasers and the damage, then hopefully this is a 2-cycle, which it is.
Nice. Yeah, that is... I'm not sure if it's easier or harder than it looks. It's not... The thing is, the difficult part of it is actually the movement you do when you try to go for the second laser. Because that little circle you need to do, it's fairly precise the way you need to do it to get the amount of damage you need. But once you have that movement down, it's very, very consistent. And it's especially consistent on New Game Plus because you have extra damage, so like 2-cycle squid is basically free. It is, I'm pretty sure, I've not really tested it yet, but I'm pretty sure 2-cycle squid is not possible on Pro. The squid just has too much HP.
Had a funny thought earlier when we were discussing good old first mate Captain Baif. I was actually wondering the whole stern stuff with the lasers. I assume that doesn't work on the squid.
I think it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It would be really funny, but yeah, I don't think it does. But yeah, so right here, basically, I'm just positioning myself to, like, soften up some of these boats. Some I just finish with the lasers, sometimes I just ram into. And once they're all cleared, we can focus on the big boy here. And what I'm going to try and do, and you can, on any percent, you can be kind of cheeky about this. I'm just going to try, like, aligning myself, kind of similar to the squid, except the movement is a lot less demanding. But yeah, this is not too scary on any percent. I did die here, though. I don't remember. I think on yesterday's run, like I almost got a sub 2 derust, which is really good. But yeah, then I died. Anyway, some. Oh, that's unfortunate. This is actually going to be a huge problem. Okay. So Rain of Blood here, not so much for the damage as it is just for building up your Madness gauge, because we do want the violin in a little bit. But yeah, once you do one and soften these guys up a bit and build up your Madness, you can just go to town here. And I'm going to trust my crewmates to finish them off. Yes, very nice. And now we can just jump down. By the way, I don't think we've mentioned this, but this game's soundtrack is incredible. Like, Yakuza soundtracks are always really good, but this is, I think, a standout even in terms of those. Like, just banger after banger.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. It's a little different than the usual affair, but in a very, very good way. Like, I don't even when most people don't appreciate the game as much, like Yakuza Dead Souls, everyone still says, "Oh man, the soundtrack's fantastic." I don't think RGG have ever missed with the soundtrack.
Yeah, not really. And Dead Souls has that the title theme is like weirdly funky, but in a way that really works for the game. You wouldn't think it would, but it does.
Yeah. It's also nice how, like, a lot of the different Yakuza games soundtracks are, like, different genres. Like, 4 is a bit more jazzy, which is kind of cool. And obviously, we've got a bit more electro later on in the series. Also, yes, for those wondering, yes, there is a bear and a tiger here. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just pirate stuff.
You do need to worry about them. They are actually kind of scary and do a lot of damage, but they shouldn't be around too long.
This entire part, by the way, on Professional is terrifying, especially the boat fight, because the thing I did where I like got greedy with the flamethrower and just stuck next to it, you cannot do that on Pro. If you are in like the same zip code as the flamethrower when it's active, you are done. I don't like how much damage I took there. That was not fun for me. Oh my god. Can I please? Jesus Christ, Masaru. Okay, Masaru won a bit of my respect back with that. That was actually very clutch.
He's helping.
Well, yeah,
Go
he's
on.
doing something. We are eternally grateful. Remember how I said that Shigeki is one of the most annoying bosses in this game? Well, we get to fight him again. This game never annoys you just once. Not with Keith, not with Jack, not with Shigeki. But yeah, Shigeki here, once he gets to yellow health, or full yellow health, I should say, is when you get to his next phase, and that's when all the other enemies drop in. And obviously, we want them all here so we can shoot them with the gun all at the same time. I might Rain of Blood here because if he ults and targets you, then that can break it off and put some good damage on him. It's not the most efficient heat-wise, but I feel like it works pretty well most of the time. But we'll see what he does. Sometimes he just stalls and doesn't do his ult. Okay, he's ulting. Oh wait, no he doesn't. He isn't, rather. And he's targeting Rodriguez. Okay. Alright, sure. You can do whatever you want to Rodriguez. I do not care. Nice, nice. Okay, cool. Alright. Not a terrible fight. That can go a lot worse. He's very aggressive, he's got a lot of Viper armor, and he does a lot of damage, so... That is actually a fight where if you're careless, you can die there, but most of the time you'll just heal, and, you know, that in itself loses some time. Alright, this is actually a fight where I used to use the triplet heat move, but I find that just using the gun here and then using a heat move with the share on the side works a lot better. Just need to put a little bit of damage on this guy. This should be enough, or he should be one-shot after this. Actually, thanks to Saijima, I'm pretty sure this finishes him off. Yeah. Nice, good fight. Now for another really cool set piece. I don't know why, like, this set piece isn't too crazy or anything, but I just really enjoy it. Alright, so we got a lot of dudes here all grouped up, and we like that. Get him, Naomi! Get the guys that I already got. By the way, Toji actually shoots these doors, which is something that I tried doing early on, but I can never get it consistent.
Yeah, I do like
We've
shooting
gone
them
through
from a
so many
distance, and the
iterations.
sides will just run up there.
We've
I mean,
gone
it
from
is
just
funny,
hitting
I
it,
just-
shooting it, to throwing a pipe at it. Like, we've tried to hit those doors in so many ways.
By the way, Rain of Blood here is really good because there's a lot of guys here, and they will crowd you and start interrupting your shots if you let them. So it builds up your madness if you need it, and also is just get him, Naomi. She's so good at getting the guys that are already knocked out.
She's helping.
Yep, in her own special way. All right, coming up here. Once you get the mini boss in this fight to full red health bar, it spawns in a bunch of other enemies, so we want to do that ASAP. We used to grab a pipe there and use a heat move on him, and it was kind of scary because you could accidentally heat move one of the goons instead. By the way, the first QTE in a while that is actually faster to succeed. But yeah, thanks to Rain of Blood, we don't need to do that anymore. And now, sharks. Now that everyone's here. So what I like to do at this point is try to look who's like left in the corner of the room, so I don't have to clean them up later. Oh wow, good sharks! Someone survived. Ah, Naomi almost did something. I actually stole that kill from her. That was very rude of me. Alright, we're almost at the end of this part of the set piece. We're going to have a bunch of dudes here. I'm going to preempt with a Mad Dog attack. And that really sets you up very nicely for the Sea Dog combo. I don't know what it is. Starting with the Mad Dog attack just lines them up really well. If you just immediately go to Sea Dog, it usually is not that clean. You can often get all of these guys with a single shot. Let's see if I can do it. Nope. Oh, Saijima. Nice. Okay. Close enough. And okay, now we are actually going into the final set piece. And as Majima says, nothing left to do but win.
Saijima really confirming his best bro status there.
Do love Saijima. I know that Froob is with me on this. I don't know about the rest of you. But I am a big Yakuza 5 enjoyer.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a big part of that. He's really good in that game.
Yep. It's a shame that his gameplay isn't, but
Yeah.
you get a good chapter with him at least.
I wish I had his imagination skills.
Yeah, just imagine 10 billion yen in my bank account too. That'd be great.
Yep.
And that my hair came back. That'd be even better.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hear that.
Do y'all want some of mine?
Very good.
Like crazy.
I have a response to that, but it wouldn't be PG-13. So just imagine what I would say to you.
I'll start weaving the toupee now.
I do think, like, this look works, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can just wear a pirate hat on the street. That'd make me very popular, I think.
How's it been?
Oh, come on, man. Dude, you cannot be serious with this.
Wow.
Alright, whatever.
Ooh.
Whatever.
This is
At least
the
I've got my
only
madness
issue.
phone.
The end game of this has a lot of these enemies that just have like 2 HP bars that you would think, oh, they'll be nice and easy to deal with. No. And in this room, you have the pure evil guy that is named Pelike, the guy that just shot BigNoNo within half a second. This guy.
This guy
BigNono's
sucks.
going after him specifically because he is the worst. Probably the worst like NPC enemy in this game. The insta turnaround shoot and all of that damage.
Mm-hmm.
We're not fans of Pelike here, I'm afraid.
Nope. Oh, I'm almost dead. That was really close. But sorry if your name is Palika. I'm sure you're a nice guy, but your namesake, not so much.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. Like, even though we've only got the one ring that drops your defense, and even though we have HP upgrades, you can just go down so quickly in this game, even on easy.
Yeah.
You have to be so careful.
Especially because the finale doesn't heal you. I think you don't get any healing from Shigeki onwards. And you typically take at least a decent amount of damage in Shigeki.
Yeah, which is really weird, because like every time you go on the ship out to sea, as you know, you get a free full heal. It's really nice.
Yep. This is actually a fight that we also use to use the gun on, but this is also a Toji edition. Where I guess Toji figured that we need to put some damage on this guy anyway, because just the heat move doesn't finish him off. So you might as well get it while taking down his goons. Alright, so right here we want to fully beer up. Actually, this is a bit early to do that. Whatever. Gonna have some funny navigation. The reason why we only use 2 beers most of the time is, for the most part, having 3 beers is not a huge difference, and it does make your movement all funny like that. But during this last part, it is useful, and you might as well, because you're not, walking around that much anymore. Alright, so 2 heat moves here. I'm going to start with the triplet heat move, which is really nice because there's a delay at the start of this fight before you can use heat moves, so you just use that to do the walk back. And now, Rain of Blood, to put on some more damage. And this should really soften everyone up. Nice. I think that was a good decision to do those attacks specifically. Alright, and we are actually at the final boss, so we are minutes away from being done. This is kind of a lengthy fight, mostly because there's a lot of unskippable cutscenes. And also I will try not to die, because yes, you can reasonably easily die here. Especially on Pro, but even on 80%. Okay, we start. Why did I... Style switch? Okay. That can get you killed, making a dumb mistake. But yeah, go behind him, combo, try to get him up in the air. If that doesn't work, another combo. And now we can just sidearm shuffle. Buddy. Nice. Got him right to the HP gate. Okay, so that's phase 1. Phase 2 is sadly a bit jazz, because, I don't know, I could never figure out anything super consistent to do here. Every time I think I got a good phase 2 strat, I just, get dunked on. It's some fight. Okay. Okay. Would be really nice if I got chain reaction to go off. Okay, I'm hoping this is enough. It's not. Okay, that's fine. Combo should do the trick. Okay, cool. So here, passing and failing is the same amount of time, and since passing gives you heat, you might as well do it. Bum bum. Again, amazing soundtrack. Okay, so if we're lucky, we can just chain reaction behind him and do a combo right away. Sometimes he doesn't let you do that so easily, like right here. Yeah, he's got an ult stored. That's fine. Oh, he's being so bad.
Locking in combos again.
And I'm gonna need you to be nicer than that. Okay, cool. And now I believe this is also Toji strat, doing the double sidearm shuffle here as well. I didn't wait long enough, I'm almost dead! Oh my god. Alright. And that is going to be... time.
GG.
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 Under 2.5 hours, nice. Not too shabby.
Very
All
impressive.
into Keikaku.
Yeah. Under 2.5 hours RTA. Again, it varies wildly. This is one of those games where it's really important to have a load remover, because load times vary so much, even for the same runners. But yeah, under 2.5 hours for my rig is really good. Okay, that's it. Thank you for having us, RPGLB. Thanks everyone for watching. I love this run, and if you want to get into it, Kios is working on some notes, so there will finally be decent material to learn from, but also you can always feel free to come into the Yakuza Speedrunning Discord. We're all happy to help with any Yakuza run you might want to learn. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, I stream Yakuza speedruns and other runs on BigNoNo on Twitch, so come pay me a visit. And anyone else got anything they want to say to sign off?
Just a reminder, as BigNoNo said, please watch Garlic do New Game Plus for Flames Fatales on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And for everybody else in the call as well, Froob, Tojimaru, even Kios, I know, but where can people find the rest of you if they want to watch you playing fun games like this?
I'll be live in a little bit, but you can find me at twitch.tv/kyoslilmonster. Definitely recommend, I will say, as someone that has spent a lot of time around the Yakuza community. It only took me 5 years to join the Discord, and to be honest, I just should have done it earlier. I would highly recommend checking that out. If you have interest in any of the speed runs, there's information there, or just getting to know more about the community and the franchise. It's one of those franchises that I definitely tell people, like, it looks intimidating because, yeah, there's, like, at minimum you have eight mainline games now, but it is 100% worth your time investment. Like, the franchise always has a way of balancing, like, very actual good story writing and like kind of plot lines, and then just there's always like that absurdist, ridiculous, comedic kind of antithesis. So it's a very good balance of good storyline and just silly fun.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I will say, if you're not sure, I would just start with the Yakuza 0. I think that's where all of us will recommend that people start with the series. And Yakuza 0 on sale is like $5, which is a steal. So just start with that. I don't think you'll regret it.
All right. Well, thank you all for this run. It was absolutely a great time. And we're going to go ahead and end the VOD here. Thank you all, and have a good one.
Yay!
Okay, now that we've cut the VOD there somewhere, thank you all also who are watching live. We really appreciate you all in Twitch and watching the YouTube live stream. We are now going to actually start a raid. We're going to go ahead and raid the Games Done Quick Twitch channel, which is doing that Frame Fatales right now.
Yeah.
So please go ahead and join that raid if you're on Twitch. If you're on YouTube, maybe just head over there yourself. I'm pretty sure Games Done Quick is only on Twitch, so you'll have to cross-platform if you want to join them. But we want to thank everybody who's been watching. Go ahead and join the raid. Send all of our love over there for them. And we'll see you all next time.